real high-class stuff. It's on.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast here on Boss Rush Games. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Darrah, and alongside me, as always, is the wise Wisconsinite, Mr. Jesse Douglas.
How's it going, everyone?
Also joining us, Colonel Panic himself, Mr. Joe Mega Construct Wilson.
Hi.
And last but not least, joining us is the Deepstone Crypt Master, Inhabitor? Resident. That's better. Yes. Josh Finney.
We're doing so good on the nicknames, Corey.
I know. Still going
It
strong.
just went downhill when it got to me, of course.
I know.
He's the mayor.
I know.
I really do feel like I've become the mayor of the Deepstone Crypt at this point. I'm more like a tour guide, really.
Yeah.
I'm more like the deranged, demented tour guide. I just,
Over here.
if you're new, please follow me to your doom. Please follow me. I'll tell you exactly what to do, where to stand, how to do it.
Over here is where you park your pikes when you're done racing them through these orbs. Here,
Not drive them into the airlock.
Here,
You're the real one who's in charge there, but you let other people feel like they're like they are.
I mean,
you're like the guards outside of Pizza Planet. You
are cleared to enter.
Yep.
Welcome to Pizza Planet.
like, listen, it's always an experience learning a new raid for the first time, but it's always really satisfying when you nail it down in that first run or two, and then you can help other people get things done that they want to do in the raid. You can actually start going after the challenges early on.
Mm-hmm.
It's really rewarding. I really like it.
Something that is, I find, for me personally, this is just me, everyone learns different, we all know that. But whenever I get to do a raid, and I don't like watching the video beforehand, I like almost doing like a blind run or figuring it out, and then I actually know how to do it. This is the first raid that I feel like I actually know how it works now. All the other ones I know what to do, but this one it's like I know, like it's like when someone falls down or someone does something, it's like, oh, I can jump in and fill that role a little bit now. This is the first raid that I feel like very comfortable in, which is neat.
Well, I talked to, I don't want to have this delve into a Deepstone Crypt conversation, but we talked about this on Tower Casuals this past week, and I said one of the things I really love about the design of this raid is how beginner-friendly the approach is, despite how hard it was in contest mode. Once contest mode got dropped, it's actually very accessible for newer raiders, and you're never blocked off from your other people. The most you'll ever be in is in a team of 3.
Or the basement when I'm by myself.
Okay, if you're Joe, you get banished to the basement, but pretty much everyone else, like you're with a solid 3 people most of the time, and if somebody falls, you can easily step in and pick up that role. Like, sure, it becomes more chaotic as you get to the final boss and things like that, but it's, I think, a just stunning reflection of Bungie's level design and encounter design, and it proves why we may have these gripes with the game and be like, oh my god, they're deactivating stuff. Like, so much is broken in this game. Matchmaking is terrible. They're everywhere. You step foot into a raid or a dungeon and you're like, god damn, this is why I keep coming back to this game over and over and over again.
Unless you're me and you break the level like I did that last time we did that raid.
I mean, Prophecy comes back on Tuesday, baby. So
Still can't forget that they spawned me underneath the spawn point, underneath a platform where I couldn't jump anywhere to try to get back up above, and I just kept on. Every time I'd fall and die, they would respawn me back underneath the spawn point. I somehow broke it, and Corey and his friend just continued on. I'm like, well, I'll just sit here.
Oh yeah, we were running the Whisper quest, and Jesse got stuck.
It was one of the parts where
it was the jumping puzzle in the Whisper quest. So
yeah, and there's the one platform that you had to jump off to get to the other side of like that big area, like that big just open dark area beneath you, and it spawned me underneath that platform that you jumped from to get to the other side.
It was,
and I just
hilarious.
I was just stuck there.
It was kind of hilarious. I'm not gonna lie to you. But anyways, if you want to hear more about Deepstone Crypt and our Destiny journeys, you can check out Tower Casuals every Thursday live right here. Me and Josh, and sometimes Colonel Panic, and sometimes our friend Nerd Journalist. And
I think I need to do another episode soon.
Yeah, we need to do a Deepstone Crypt deep dive, but I first have to run the raid. So,
well, also we get more frames and sliders this week. So
by the time you're listening to this, guys, we will have 60 frames per second.
You'll probably be downloading this episode and Destiny again.
Yeah,
if you are so inclined.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get back in
70 gigs we have to re-download.
Yep. Sorry for all you people who have data caps. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't either.
Get fiber.
Knock on particle board.
We have a few pre-show questions here, guys. Of course, we lead the show off with Greg Osterman III.
Always.
He asked a question to us on Boss Rush this week too. He asked us about frozen pizzas this week.
Yeah.
But he said, "Hey, Axe Bros, it's better. It's better than Axe Mafia, but we need something. We need something creative here." He says, "There's a good sandwich and a bad sandwich. What makes a good sandwich?" It's time for some sandwich casuals, Josh.
First off, there's no such thing as a bad sandwich. Okay, if you've had a bad sandwich, you, my friend, messed up somewhere along the way, because there's no such thing. You are not eating a sandwich. You are eating a panini. You are eating a hot dog. You are eating a burger. You are not eating a sandwich. Number two, put as much, and I mean as much, toppings as humanly possible on that sandwich. If you are not straining your mouth to get that whole thing in there, you're not trying hard enough. This has been Sandwich Casuals.
That sentence sounds like it should be on another show.
Nope. Just stack it up and
Only
get it on in there.
Casuals.
Take that all out of context.
Sounds like Josh is signing up for OnlyFans later.
Who knows? Maybe it's 2020, man.
There's a lot of people that would pay to watch you eat a sandwich.
It's fair.
I mean,
that is a thing, I guess.
Just about anything you can get paid for to do online.
Look, when I eat a sandwich, I toast the bread. I like a good toast. Okay? I like toast. I lather both pieces of bread with some mayonnaise. Okay, both pieces. Just lather it on there. I like a couple slices of turkey, a couple slices of cheese, just one leaf of lettuce, and if I'm feeling dangerous, 2 thinly sliced tomatoes. And that's it. That's my sandwich. That's a good sandwich.
See, for me, I'm not a leaf lettuce guy. I like to get the shredded lettuce like they do on in Subway and stuff like that. I don't like, just because that's like tomatoes too. Like I'm not a fan of tomatoes, because like sometimes when you bite into the tomato and it doesn't want to break, and then you think you're gonna finish a full bite and then it just pulls everything out of it, and it's like I'd just rather just have that shredded lettuce in there. But yeah, for me, like, honestly, the only thing I really worry about when it comes to a sandwich is what kind of bread it's being made on. Honestly, like, for
I use
me,
a good 12 grain. A 12 grain bread.
Well, it doesn't matter to me as long as it's a decent bread. That's all. That for me, that's like the main, probably my main worry as far as making a sandwich.
Decent bread? Go-to bread. Like, what's your bread?
Like Corey said, like I do tend to prefer a more hearty, like like 12 or 15 grain. Like if I'm just using regular, like bread that sandwich bread. But Otherwise, I usually go to the store and I get the big, like, sub kind of buns where you can cut them individually and make your own. That, or I go to like some of the sub places that actually make subs that sell like day old bread, buy their bread and just, then make my own at home. Because, I just like to have like the either the long bun type thing or just a regular like 12 or 15 grain.
I mean, listen, I'm not picky about what kind of bread goes on my sandwich. But if given the choice, those King's Hawaiian mini sub rolls are pretty choice.
Yeah,
That's true.
Okay.
That is fair.
Oh,
I have perfected making the Earl of Sandwich Hawaiian barbecue sandwich.
What? You've
home.
perfected it?
I've perfected it.
Wait, no,
I
hold
have
on,
finally
hold
cracked
on.
it.
No, this is a new conversation we need to have. Okay, look. I said today in a tweet that I am really missing Earl of Sandwich. Actually, it was a tweet about Walt Disney World, but I included Earl of Sandwich into the tweet. How do you do this? I need this. I mean, if you don't want to share your secret to the world on this here live podcast, you can DM me later.
Chat, listen, what you do is you get yourself a pack King's Hawaiian 6-pack sub rolls, cut it open, you get your chicken, you grill it up, dice it up, get it on in there. Just get it on in there, okay? Lather it up in some sweet barbecue sauce while you're at it. Like
what kind of
The
barbecue?
sweetest you can find. The sweetest you can find, and this is going to surprise nobody. King's Hawaiian makes barbecue sauce. At least in Texas they do, and it has actual chunks of pineapple in it. If you're feeling dangerous, you can get spicy. I like the spicy kind. You get the spicy kind. You marinate your chicken in it after it's cooked. You dice up your ham, chop it up, whatever floats your boat. Get it in there. You spread it on all across that sandwich, and you dice up some pineapple. You get it on there, smack it closed. If you got a panini press, get it on in there. And my friends, you are good to go. You are eating heaven in a bun. Let the sweet nectar of the gods flow down your chin as you bite into that sandwich.
Let me tell you that I used to make everything a sandwich as, like, I would say a kid, but probably through my 20s. I would turn everything into a sandwich. And I remember at like my peak sandwich making era, I would, and I shit you not, take a slice of garlic bread, put spaghetti on it, and then top it with another slice of garlic bread and make a sandwich out of it.
I've done that.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
This has
Good.
To be
That's
fair,
good.
I mean, it just
Good.
removes the dipping part of the garlic bread. You're literally
I mean,
just
It is
skipping a
fucking
step.
delicious.
And there is a meatball sandwich, so like
Listen,
the only thing
a
that
good
meatball sandwich is
bar.
missing
Okay.
But I will even take, like, since I'm a vegetarian, I'll take like those buffalo fake wings and line those up on bread, and then like top it with shit, and then eat it.
Buffalo wings go on
Blue
pizza
cheese
like
and
they
lettuce.
go on sandwiches.
That's
blue
just
cheese and lettuce on it, and on a sandwich, and you got yourself a sandwich.
You're talking about nectar of the gods, and I'm like, I take all the leftovers of my fridge and put them between two slices of bread and shove them in my face.
There are many different gods, my friend, okay? I'm not
You
sure
did-
I subscribe to your nectar of the gods.
You did say there is no such thing as a bad
I
sandwich.
did say that too.
Listen. I've done the spaghetti flatbread. I have done the mozzarella crunch. I've been there, my friends. I've done it all. I maintain
guess
not
if I-
a bad sandwich.
Personally, if I were to choose my ideal sandwich, it's always a breakfast sandwich. I love.
Oh, of course.
There's a place near me called Square Cafe, but they will do this. Cripes! If I could remember what kind of bread that they use, it would probably help out. But it's delicious. It's nice and like it's toasty on the outside, but really kind of soft on the inside, so you're not getting a lot of pull when you're pulling it apart. And I do egg, feta, and like some vegetarian sausage on it, and it is just delicious. It's my anytime we go out to get breakfast, which we haven't for almost a year now.
I was gonna say for 3 days.
Well, no, I make sandwiches. I still make a breakfast sandwich at home, but it's
It's not
even
the
though I
same.
think it's
It
not the same.
slaps differently.
And I don't think it's the same because it's not as good. I think my breakfast sandwich is good. I think it's because the best breakfast sandwich is when it's made for you and not by you. Because
Yeah.
I don't like the dishes. And to make a good breakfast, you need like 90 pans. It's just such a clean.
And I mean, let's be honest, like places that make sandwiches or make burgers, they've literally perfected it over how many years to the point of where it's as easy to put together as possible. And so like if you're not one of those people who's figured out how to perfect it, it's just not gonna turn out the same. Like I love just like even having an egg on a burger. Like the Royal Red Robin by far is probably one of my favorite burgers of all time. But I usually have them put those onion crisp things on, like the onion curls or tangles or whatever they're called. I have them put those on there instead of a tomato, and good.
Healthier option.
Yep.
Ugh,
But yeah.
I'm hungry.
I know.
Greg, did that answer your question?
I hope it did, because if it didn't, I don't know. Sam Hall writes in, he says, how are you guys going to discuss Game of the Year? Are you even going to do one? I don't know. I didn't play enough games that came out this year to even like really care, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this is a rough year. Especially for me, is just trying to save money to get the new console, and and like now that I finally did get the console. Now it's too close to Christmas for me to start spending money on myself. Like when I got to start, like worrying about buying stuff for Christmas and things like that.
What's the cutoff for Game of the Year? Because like Cyberpunk here comes out in 4 days.
December 31st.
Yeah, we usually.
So like I feel like that's not like that's
December 31st.
No,
it's still 2020.
I heard you. I have headphones on. I heard you. I just wonder like when's the deadline then for choosing Game of the Year? Because like are we gonna spend 20 days with Cyberpunk and be like, yep, that's it? I mean like I honestly think that would probably be my pick just because it's one of the most prolific games that I'm going to play, and I haven't played it yet, so that's me making an assumption.
I think last year we did it. We did the episode in the beginning of next year. I think last time that we did Game of the Year, that had been different, I think, than the previous year. But I think we've kind of done it quite a bit differently.
Yeah,
ours is definitely much more laid back and.
Yeah, I don't even think we did like a boss or whatever Game of the Year last year. I think we just did like, here's the 5 games we enjoyed the most this year. And
yeah,
it was kind of.
Yeah, honestly, ours is more of a celebration of the games that came out in a year more than a Game of the Year.
I don't know. Honest. We should ask Jeff Keighley what Hideo Kojima's Game of the Year is, and then we'll just crown that Game of the Year. So, but yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about it. I don't even know if we're gonna do a Game of the Year. Honestly, I don't even really care to do one this year. I feel like.
I mean, even if we do,
I've got a lot to say. So
I mean, we can talk about it in the next week or two if we like how we're gonna do it then. Like.
It's weird because there's some years that are like 2017 be like Breath of the Wild. It's like an easy decision.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
last year and this year
just
is
like
muddy. Yeah.
I mean,
I couldn't tell you what games came out this year.
Like,
I mean,
I'm still really excited for Cyberpunk. It's my most anticipated, probably since Breath of the Wild, frankly. But I also look at it and it's like, well, I did play The Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima this year, and those were both really. I know this is an Xbox show, but goddamn, those were really good games.
Last of Us is an excellent game.
Yeah,
but also like
I
also understand why someone would play. Someone would play Last of Us and be like, I don't like feeling depressed the whole time.
Yeah,
I mean that's why I stopped playing.
It took me a while to come around to like even watch streams of the game because it's like I'm depressed enough this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways, so that's the first. Let me play Cyberpunk and Assassin's Creed first.
Yeah, but I honestly,
and
I
Maneater.
just say,
Maneater for
if-
Game of the Year.
yeah, I just say honestly, we just do like I said, like just kind of what we've almost kind of been doing is just more of a celebration of like talking about all the great things that we played over the year or whatever.
You know what I would like to do, and I don't know if you can parse the data for just a year, but I would like to know what we could each pick a game of the year and then look at the data to be like, what game have I actually played the most and what game have I actually completed the most of?
Mm-hmm.
To
We
see,
usually
feel like call your bullshit.
well, and we usually will include too, like where we have a thing where we would pick a game that's like a game that's continued, like like Destiny or something, where yes, it's
Best
not a
ongoing
new
game.
Yeah, best ongoing game. So like Destiny or like I've picked Rainbow Six Siege quite a couple of times in the past because they have just kept on adding great content to that game as well, and
Master
so
Chief
stuff
Collection that has expanded
yeah
exponentially in the
Yeah.
features and what they offer, which is insane.
Yeah.
As- Not making it appealing if you don't like Halo at all, but
And now, obviously, most people would probably pick GTA 5 online or something dumb, or well, not dumb, but I mean, like something like that. But none of us, like have really in the past been into that. So, but I'm,
play
like
a lot of
that
GTA.
obviously would be a contender. And if you were looking at actual like doing Game of the Year, like type authentic stuff, but. Yeah, we usually just end up kind of talking about what our favorite games of the year were, and in the past we did do the one time where we each picked 5, and then we like the number 1 got 5 points, number 4 or 2 got 4 points, and so on, and then at the end whatever one had the most points.
Yeah.
Like one game of the year or something like that we did one time, but
I remember one time, like, we all had, like, the year Final Fantasy 15 came out on the old show I was on, and we did it that way. And we all had Final Fantasy 15 on the list somewhere, but it was it was nowhere near like number 1. But just the way the math worked out, Final Fantasy 15 won Game of the Year because of the math.
it's funny.
mm-hmm.
And we all hated ourselves for it.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people probably that year would have said that was a great game, but
I mean, I liked Final Fantasy 15 a lot, but
yeah,
it's
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll talk about it. I still have 2 major games on my list that I still want to play, and at least get most of the way through before I make that decision. It's Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and apparently Immortals: Phoenix Rising is like secretly the best game of the year too. So
Heard a lot about it.
yeah. I've been on the fence about that game since it kind of got released. Like a lot of it in the beginning made it seem like it wasn't going to be great, but then as you're reading more stuff, it's like, well, it could be good now. But yeah, now people are just like can't stop talking about it. So
yeah. So
I don't know.
We'll talk about it on the side, and then we'll figure it out. We'll have that answer for you the next time. But this is Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast, where we do talk about Xbox most of the time, guys. Most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Each and every Sunday night, live on twitch.tv/BossRushGames Live, we discuss the world of Xbox with our friends from around the internet. If you can't join us live, you can head on over to youtube.com/BossRushGames and podcast services every Tuesday morning to check out the show. Leave us a review on iTunes and rate and subscribe to Arsenal X wherever you are listening. It really helps us out. You can catch the Boss Rush Games family of shows on bossrushgames.com. We're going to get in some of this news. Not a lot, but we're going to start out with BioWare veterans Mark Darrah and Casey Hudson are leaving BioWare. What does that mean for Mass Effect, Dragon Age, and Anthem Next? I don't know. This kind of set the world on fire this week. I don't really know why it would make sense that two of the company's most successful people would leave when the company is kind of spiraling out of control to go try something new. So
I agree. I think that there's not, like, think about what they've put out recently. It's like I doubt they're happy or proud of the work they've been doing, and I don't think they're probably doing what they wanted to do. There's too many people, too many cooks in the kitchen in a lot of these companies anymore, and I think they need to either find a way to branch out and like create a smaller space for them to be more in control, or they need to leave. Look at all the times that you let the creative people kind of loose to do what they want to do. Bungie separating from Activision was a good thing for Destiny. Look at how intimate the Mandalorian is in the Star Wars universe. That's just convoluted, and now the Mandalorian is probably arguably one of the best things to come out of Star Wars since the original trilogy anymore. Maybe aside from some of the cartoons and stuff that they've output, like the Clone Wars. But like people need to be, like, the people that are good at making those creative decisions need to be in more of a position of control that are directly affecting the creative endeavor that they're involved in. Them leaving makes sense. I don't think I can't imagine them feeling fulfilled the past couple of years.
Well, and not to mention a lot of that, what BioWare is right now isn't the BioWare that they, had been in the past. And so like there's probably not really much of that sense of like family and stuff there as much as there maybe was in the past. And so it's just much easier for them to just kind of peace out, but yeah, like, and like speaking of like, freedom and stuff, and, that's what Microsoft has really been trying to, get across about, the people that they're acquiring, or, like their studios, like that, just kind of letting people do what they do and just having faith in their, their creativity. And yeah, and too many of these companies like EA and stuff, they want to focus on and like put all their eggs into one basket, and and just expect these sports games to get all this money and expect all these things. But those things we've seen multiple times in the past. Those things get stale. And if you don't do something new or you don't do something different, you're going to just be, a product of the past, and people aren't going to care about you anymore. Like it's like today, like I was talking with my sister about the GameStop's closing. Now where I live, there's 4 stores. Okay. 4. 5-minute drive to each one of them from where I live right now. Why do you need 4 stores? You don't need 4 stores. You have 2, make 2 big ones, or whatever, So like a lot of the times these people that own these things, they don't like just listen to the people who know what they're doing. Like just listen, like you've got to, at some point, GameStop had to have known when Netflix started going digital that wasn't going to be the only thing that went digital. I mean, music was before it, like I mean, the natural progression is things are going to go digital. So you've got to try to make those changes as soon as you can and not wait until now, so they need to start letting these people do stuff, actually come up with new things, new ideas, all that kind of stuff. Change that now, because if you keep on waiting, you're seeing what's happening right now. Like the things are just falling apart. Like they picked up Respawn at EA, and Respawn has brought a whole, a bunch of new interesting things, to them, and they're doing really well because it's something new, and it's, and it's good, and the time's being put in. But Battlefield, all these things are just getting stale, and it doesn't seem like they're even trying to think of a way to improve. or make them better or make them newer, or like it's just like they don't care.
Yeah,
it's really hard to have a positive view about the stuff they do.
I also wonder how much of like I wonder how much of the return of Casey Hudson was in his contract, like, hey, if you sign on for 3 or 4 years, because he left before and came back. He left to go to Microsoft to work on some alternate reality projects, I think, and then he came back to BioWare to get Anthem out the door and Mass Effect Andromeda out the door. I wonder how much of that was in his contract. It was like, hey, if you stick it out this long, you get a bonus, and once you get your bonus, you can walk or whatever. I wonder how much of that was that too. I think Mark Darrah's departure is going to be felt more than Casey Hudson's departure, really.
Yeah, maybe they thought by now they would have Anthem redone already, and that this was the amount of time that they gave them, to try to finish, like have a contract with them or something.
Maybe.
So I've got 2 reads on this, and it's less about Casey and Mark leaving and more of the problems of BioWare in general, because they've been going on for a long time, dating back to Mass Effect 3.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the head of the Austin studio and the guy who's basically directing Anthem Next is the one who's being promoted to oversee all of Dragon Age 4 is an interesting choice. To me, it shows one of 2 things. Either they have an insane amount of faith that Anthem Next is actually going to be good, or this is a Hail Mary throw. Because the Austin studio primarily has been, again, working on the Anthem reboot and has done the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 2 radically different games from Dragon Age and Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we are realistically... I don't want to be that person, but I'm going to be that person. After Andromeda, after what we saw with Anthem, Old Republic is, it's just kind of chugging along. It's its own thing over there. Like,
is it
I'm
still
surprised
going?
They're expanding the Austin studio. It's still going 10 years this year.
That's
or next
crazy.
year, I guess. 10
That's
years
crazy.
Next year. It's bizarre. I think realistically, if Mass Effect and or Dragon Age is not good, again, you may be looking at the final days of BioWare. The BioWare that we knew and loved from the OG Xbox days and from the 360 days is gone.
It's dead.
It is dead. And I don't say that in a bad way. We have still gotten out of this new BioWare. We still did get. We got Mass Effect 3, which I maintain is still a good game. From everything I saw, it was a good game. Inquisition is a great game. Like, they have done good things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that streak they had of Neverwinter Nights, Knights of the Republic 1, Jade Empire, Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2, Dragon Age 1, Dragon Age 2. It's not that BioWare anymore. And that's okay. Studios need to grow and evolve. Bungie evolved. Well, I'm going to go back to the Bungie comparison for a second. Mm-hmm. It evolved from being a studio that was they made a Marathon. They did Marathon. They did Oni. They did Halo, and then they did Destiny. And each of those games is built on each other. Mm-hmm. And I think that's okay for a company like BioWare, but compare that with a studio like Respawn, where they have a clear sense of direction under Vince Zampella. They know what kind of company they want to be, but they've also been able to get out of that first-person shooter genre. Even though they did something truly unique with Titanfall and with Apex Legends, they were able to bring a new spin to Battle Royale with Apex, and they were able to do an incredible third-person action game in Jedi Fallen Order.
And they built the team for Jedi Fallen Order in a way where like that was a direction where they're like, okay, well, we have the combat designer from God of War. We have the, they put all these pieces together to make that type of game,
Right. And I mean, BioWare used to be one of the destinations for if you want to be working on the best RPG team in the business, you're going there, like back in 2005-ish. You're going there or you're going to Lionhead. Like those are the two Western RPG studios you're going to. Like Bethesda was gaining a lot of traction too with the console crowd at that point with Oblivion. Like you were going to one of those places. And nowadays I feel like, well, Lionhead's gone. BioWare's going downhill. I guess Bethesda's still attracting people because they've got a billion studios, but I think we're really seeing to this resurgence of Western RPGs. Legacy companies like BioWare are trying to figure out what their future is, where they stand at. They tried something new with Anthem, and I'll never fault a company for trying something new.
Mm-hmm.
It was an interesting concept that just simply didn't work. This goes back to the games as a service argument that we had. The fact that we are approaching 2 years of this game being completely broken, and we still haven't seen Anthem Next, I personally don't care about this anymore. I don't know a single person who is still excited for this reboot because it's been 2 full years. Mm-hmm. That game was $5 within 6 months of launch. Mm-hmm. Like, no one cares about this. It's not going to have a Destiny 2 style resurgence. And if it somehow turns out to be decent or even playable, that opens up a whole nother conversation about how much leeway are we supposed to give these developers. Like, if your game needs to be delayed 2 years to be your real vision, maybe it should never have come out. And I think that's the point we've gotten to with BioWare over the last 8 years, really over the entire PS4, Xbox One generation, is should these games have even been released in the state that they're in? And the answer is a resounding no. There's much more going on there than just EA's meddling. The fact you had to bring Casey Hudson back to fix your studio, like, Casey, I don't know if Casey really wanted to come back. He probably came back because, and this is pure speculation and conjecture on my part, is he came back because BioWare's his baby. Mm-hmm. Like, why would you want to come back? Like, you were handed creative director, but then at the same time, you have to take the flack for Anthem. Mm-hmm. And that's not something anybody wants to deal with. I'm excited to see where him and Mark go after this, because
you think they'll end up together?
I don't think.
Maybe. That partnership feels really similar to draw another parallel with Respawn. It feels very similar to Vince Zampella and Jason West in the midst of leaving, being fired from Activision after Modern Warfare 2. It feels really similar to that in a lot of ways to me. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they make it pretty clear in their post, like, hey, we resigned, we left, this and that. I think Casey's was much more voluntary. I have a feeling, because Mark, to my knowledge, Mark has never left BioWare before.
Mm-hmm. No, he hasn't.
I feel like Mark was probably asked to leave at that point. He was there for all of these missteps, and at a certain point, the price comes due. Mm-hmm. And as much as I hate to say that about some of my favorite creatives, there's a limit. Like, at any profession, there is a limit to how many missteps you can have before your time comes. And I feel like that just may have been it for the old guard at BioWare. Like, I'm still excited for Dragon Age 4. I'm still excited for Mass Effect Legendary Collection and for whatever comes next in that universe. But we have to all understand it's not going to be the same as it was before, and that's okay. So, my long-winded spiel is done.
Yeah. Anyone else got anything else to say about that before we move on?
No, I had a twinge that made me fearful that somehow the Mass Effect remaster is going to get fucked up. Like, they're going to, tinker with something.
Yeah.
Like they're going to fix something that they shouldn't fix. And then, oh man, can you imagine waiting this long for a remaster and it suck? Like,
I think people are going to be really surprised at how much they really don't like Mass Effect 1. I've already seen a lot of people going, no, let me rephrase that. Mass Effect 1 is the weakest of the trilogy. Okay. Mm-hmm. But I've seen a lot of people go oh my God, I hope they're going to completely overhaul it. They're going to make it better. They're going to give 2 and 3's combat. No, they're not. I promise you they're not. You're going to have a whole lot of upset nerds in spring 2021.
Dude, they would have to do a Mafia trilogy style remake to Mass Effect 1 and then, update
I'm sorry,
2 and 3.
BioWare doesn't care enough to do that anymore.
No. EA doesn't care enough to fund that.
Yeah, it would have to be a Resident Evil 2 style remake.
Yeah.
But I love Mass Effect 1.
I love the story.
I have a lot of nostalgia for it. I'm just saying, compared to 2 and 3,
I still like it.
I love Mass Effect 1 story and characters and that character development. I prefer playing 2 and 3.
The combat in 2 and 3 is better.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. It makes sense because Mass Effect is clearly more of a RPG style game, whereas 2 and 3 are clearly third person action games.
The music when you have to scan the planets and you're looking at your map.
Yeah.
That song, my wife, when I hear that, she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm playing this game," but I'll be in that menu for like 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
That's like the most nostalgic part about I have is Mass Effect is getting yelled at, being like, "What is that music that keeps playing?" I'm like, I love it.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, it did work for Demon Souls. Like that, from what I understand, that game is basically the same, and lacking all the new improvements that the newer ones have brought. But people
Yeah, but
still
I feel
love
like
it.
I feel like Demon Souls and the Souls genre as a whole, people like. I feel like people are the fans of those games that know what Demon Souls is and know what to expect. Whereas, like, I feel like Mass Effect appeals to a lot more people than than Demon Souls and Dark Souls, and a lot more people played Mass Effect than Demon Souls. So.
I mean,
It's not as much.
A lot more
I mean,
people
as much
definitely
of a
played.
cult following.
Yeah, a lot more people definitely played Mass Effect 1 than Demon Souls, but Demon Souls on PS5 is doing bonkers numbers.
Yeah.
That. I can't wait to see the NPD numbers next week on that game, because now you have the full strength of the Dark Souls trilogy and Bloodborne behind it. At Blue Point, let's be honest, outside of Capcom's Resident Evil team and the Final Fantasy VII Remake team, Blue Point may be the best team to remaster something in the industry right now. I would love to see Blue Point tackle Mass Effect 1. I'd love to see what them, or hypothetically one of these other teams, if that kind of love and dedication was put into remastering that game. It's not going to happen, though. That would require EA and BioWare to admit that something was wrong in the first place, and to spend the money to put that out, and not just do a quick reskin or say, "Oh, look, it's the Legendary Collection."
Yeah,
we're gonna sell this for $60. Like, I would pay $60 for a full-on remaster of Mass Effect 1, done from the ground up, Resident Evil 2 style or Final Fantasy VII Remake style. It's just not gonna happen, though.
That's what I want. That's what I want to happen to Dead Space.
And I do wonder if those rights may be a little convoluted, because Microsoft did technically publish the first game.
Yeah,
I do wonder how much they have in say over anything that touches the first game.
Well, they did.
Now I'm really done.
Microsoft did, or they did. EA did publish the game on PlayStation 3 when it came to the trilogy.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
As a trilogy, I don't think you could buy Mass Effect 1 independently.
You cannot. You have to buy it as the full trilogy. Whereas on Xbox, you can still buy it.
You can buy it digitally on PlayStation 3 for $15. The first game.
Just
only.
the first one?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know why. I guess, like, if you bought 2 and 3 on PlayStation 3, you would want to play the first. I don't know, but they did sell it separately for $15. So, all right, we're gonna move on here. Joe, this one's for you. Hope you're excited. I hope you have your Mega Construct sword ready.
I do.
Halo Actor says Halo Infinite is coming in the spring. How do you feel about that one?
Let me say that's not just a Halo Actor. That was Steve Downes, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Which is Master Chief. I think that's fine. I think that's kind of in line with all the other things that we've been hearing. I'm fine with it. Like, I think that's a great time for for Halo to come out. And it's funny because I'm kind of glad it didn't come out at launch, as much as that would have helped the launch of the Xbox and created a lot more buzz. But like, I've enjoyed seeing kind of the slow burn of the Halo stuff that's been coming out, like the supplemental stuff, like the toys and the Butterfinger shit and
the Monster cans,
all the other stuff, like the Monster energy drink, which I have a case right here.
Did you save your receipt?
I did. I've been uploading it. I don't know how much XP I have, but it's a lot. I've enjoyed like being able to play Destiny on my Xbox and actually focus on Destiny. And then when Cyberpunk comes out, I'm going to be able to play Cyberpunk. I've been playing a lot actually this past week of we'll get into this, but like the Master Chief Collection and its new frame rate. Like, I've been able to spend more time doing that. And if Halo would have came out, I legitimately probably would have had to neglect everything else or choose between Halo and Cyberpunk, which I don't know which way. I'm so excited about Halo, but at the same time, like, I've been waiting for Cyberpunk, I feel like, longer than Halo Infinite. So I think that makes sense. I'm fine with it. I don't know if that's true or not, but I would wager that it's probably round about that time frame. In the next 4 or 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we kind of were saying, didn't we? Didn't you guys say April or something like that?
I've had third week of April pegged for a while.
Yeah.
It's a great time.
Yeah.
Yep. I think they want a time that is, and I do suspect that we're getting an update here in the next week or two. 343 has said we will get an update on Halo before Christmas, but they will not be at the Game Awards. So good, we're setting some expectations.
Yep.
There was a new there was a teaser release today for Xbox with a lot of Master Chief in it.
Mhm.
I kind of wonder, and it says like all will be revealed tomorrow, apparently. So I kind of wonder if we're going to get anything. This is the week to do it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's this week. Get it out there before Cyberpunk dominates everything for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
Just
you
get
are
it
it's
out
pretty
there.
quiet right
losing
now.
that cycle when Cyberpunk comes out. You are not going
Yes.
to go through it.
No.
Yeah,
Just-
quiet
just
right now.
Get
for
any
everything.
news about a multiplayer beta. Get it out there now. Release any sort of information. Honestly, like you want it. This will never happen. But my dream scenario would be announce a multiplayer beta for the week of Christmas, for the 25th through like January 3rd. Do another one over like Valentine's through President's Day or something, and then have one final one the 2-3 weeks before launch. Like do something like that. Do a smooth rollout, because we've said it so many times on this show, they got to nail it with Infinite.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not just 343, but Microsoft in general really, really needs Halo Infinite to be the best one since 3, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
They really need it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They haven't had, like, that killer title yet on X and S. And as much as I'm loving playing the older games on my X, like, Master Chief Collection looks beautiful. Gears 5 runs phenomenally. I just played through that game over the last week. Like, Gears Tactics looks great. This is really the first time where I'm like, okay, I'm okay with playing my old games and my existing stuff. They play and run the way they should have, but you really need that system seller. I want the game that's going to cause all my friends to go, oh my god, okay, that's it. I'm buying one. I'm upgrading. Not just, I'll get one when I feel like it. Like, no, I want them to go, okay, I got to get it because I got to have the most optimal version of the new game, of this new title. I gotta have it. What better time to do that than with the 20th anniversary of Halo next year?
Yep. Yeah. I really hope they have a
Bring out the mega constructs, boys.
Trying.
Yeah, when are they gonna just make it?
My finger.
When are they gonna just make it where you can make the Xbox Series X a model of it with the mega constructs?
That would be really cool, though. By the way, if you like.
Would.
Could do it. I do have to say there's some screenshots in this article of Master Chief, and like the Master Chief character model looks phenomenal.
The new version of it, which I would say is like a best of Master Chief armor, but like it's very clearly heavily inspired by 2 and 3.
Oh yeah,
I think it looks, without knowing anything about the story or whether or not I'm gonna like the grapple shot or any of that other stuff, like it's my favorite armor. It's like a little bit more detailed than 2 and 3, but it also has kind of like a clean Lions aesthetic to it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
Now they just have to work on this pilot guy, because his face was it looks like early 360.
His toy looks real bad.
Yeah. Do you have it? Do you want to show
I
it?
don't have it. I've been told that I'm not allowed to buy any more Halo toys until after Christmas, which I legitimately would be okay for Christmas. I just got one box, and in it was every Halo toy that I didn't have that's currently out. That's within reason. Easily accessible.
He wants the Series 1 McFarlane toys from like 2002.
Oh, I got Joyride ones, man. I have OG Halo.
Joyride. There is
Wow.
a name I have not heard in a long time.
Wow.
I got those hanging out.
Wow. Okay, our last story here. It's about Fortnite, but they've got some pretty interesting things coming up in Fortnite, which I saw a tweet today. It was one of you guys, or maybe it was somebody said that they would spend thousands of dollars in Fortnite to see these skins without ever playing the game. And
That was Megan.
oh, was it? Yeah, It was like, yeah, you're right. I would love to see all these skins, but I'm not spending the money in Fortnite to do it. but they all look cool. We're getting the Mandalorian and Kratos and rumored Master Chief, and somehow Samus was trending in Fortnite or on Twitter for Fortnite at some point.
Yeah,
too.
because the idea is with the game, they took out the what's his name from X-Men or whatever, the bad guy. I'm blanking on it.
Galactus.
Galactus. And then at the end of it, the beginning of this season, they had the Fortnite guy got a call, and they said that he needs to find all the best hunters of any galaxy he can find. And so he jumps through a rift on his way to all the different universes of the world, of our world, to try to find the best hunters. And so right away I was like, okay, well, I know Mandalorian will probably be one of them. And, sure enough, he was. But yeah, like the idea is you've got Master Chief, you've got Samus, you've got, like Kratos, which Kratos and Mandalorian are already available in the game. Like today, they've been now since last week or whatever, or since the end of this week, I should say. But yeah, so that's the idea, and that's why basically like people are just going crazy with ideas of like all these famous hunters of games, of you name it, could easily be in, whoever wants to make deals. So
let me ask you. So I've never played Fortnite. I did, in anticipation that I saw Master Chief might be at it. I downloaded it. What is Fortnite?
What is it?
No, I mean, like you're talking. Like, is there a story to it?
Okay, yeah. So like
10 seconds.
So each
brief. Josh is shaking his head. Got 10 seconds on the clock.
Each season has like a theme basically that's part of a story that's continuous. Every season has got something different going on. And then inside the game, you've got different kinds of like almost story driven like options of things that you can do to try to like get XP to upgrade like certain things. But those kind of things change with each season.
But it primarily is just the battle
does.
Royale. Like it's just
that's what it is. But there's actual like there's more. It's more than just like honestly when I play it, I don't play it to win. I play it to try to do the goals, the things to try to get the upgrade, my battle pass or get unlocks or whatever. Like I don't care in that game about winning, which is different from any other like game like that I play as far as being competition. Like I don't really care about whether I win or not. I just want to just do the fun missions and all that stuff in that game. So like if you look at that game that way as more of like trying to challenge yourself, I think it's a much much more acceptable and fun game if you do it that way, in my opinion. Like all these people that go on and just talk about how they win today or do this and do that, it's like, yeah, like I can do that too, but what's actually more difficult is some of these objectives. So.
Yeah, Fortnite is it's tough. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not very good at it.
If they add Master Chief, now how much? Like, Josh,
let me tell you, the Captain America set was $25. The entire
25,
and the Batman set I think was $25 or $30.
So Master Chief's probably gonna be like 25.
So the Kratos set. I was tweeting about this
There's only a couple of bucks.
I downloaded Kratos, or not Kratos. I downloaded Fortnite the other night, and I went into the item shop just for kicks and giggles. Before I even got to the item shop, I was given 3 or 4 separate pop-ups of buy the battle pass, buy the battle pass, buy the battle pass, which is already off-putting to me. I don't like it when games do that to me.
Yeah.
And then I open up the item shop. I get hit with that again. I start scrolling down. The Kratos pack is on sale right now for 2,200 V-Bucks. Normally, it is 33.
which is
and the what's the conversion rate for V-Bucks to dollars?
I believe that's $30.
I think 800 V-Bucks is $10. I think. I'm not sure. I know it's not 1-to-1. I know it's not like 100 V-Bucks is $1.
I'm looking right now. 1,000 V-Bucks is $10.
Oh, well, there you go.
1,000 V-Bucks is...
And if I were to buy the battle pass, we don't have to talk about this on stream.
Maybe if you have the battle pass,
I'm just gonna boot in and look it up.
I mean,
because
okay.
I've only paid $7.
That's
Wait,
a
how
lot
much
for
is
a
the battle
character
pass?
skin.
$7. It's like it's
well,
or whatever the
there's 3 different battle passes, or there's the $10 tier, which is like the base battle pass. Then there's the $25 one, which unlocks the first 25 levels for you, and then there's the new monthly subscription battle pass, which is like what, $12? I think they said a month.
Yeah,
and you get like 1,000 V-Bucks and like a bunch of exclusive skins and stuff, and a battle pass
every month. Yeah, every month you get 1,000 V-Bucks.
Yeah.
Gross.
So,
but yeah, no, their battle pass isn't that expensive at all.
It's not the battle pass that I have a problem with.
And you can get the points
back. Plenty for your money in that. Don't get me wrong. I have a problem with the individual characters that are not a part of that, aka Kratos for 2,200, and that's somehow considered a sale.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I've got the problem with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just want to play as Master Chief in a game like that's new and different.
At that point, I would rather use if Master Chief. I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't be on par with that kind of pricing. I would rather save that money. No, dude, I would rather save that money, and I'd rather, I don't know, buy some rec packs in Infinite or buy some.
You know how
silver
long it's been since I've played Master Chief in something new. I'm gonna play him in Fortnite if I can.
Joe is what they're directly targeting here, people.
They are.
Joe is one of those people. I'm holding out really hard. Master Chief, Din Djarin, and Kratos are all in this game, and I'm staying strong right now. But it's real hard after Season of the Marvel.
I would say, like, yeah, if they get me in for Chief, there's a high likelihood that I would get Mandalorian and Kratos.
Well, you have the Mandalorian. You have to complete the battle pass.
Season pass.
You have
battle pass. You just got to get it.
So, I mean, hypothetically, if you're looking at how much V-Bucks is this all going to cost, you're looking at paying
for the Mandalorian. It's $8.
45-ish for all 3 of those things. I can't do that.
Josh, I spent $150 on little pieces of plastic that I put together.
I would rather have that.
And then just look at it. Well, yeah, but you're just looking at it. You can actually control it.
How is it affecting my experience in the game, though, for that much money?
Because I wouldn't be playing.
Come to my house and console me when I lose.
I don't know.
Wow.
We'll see.
All I'm going to say is...
I didn't know Fortnite was going to get this exciting on this podcast.
All I hear about is how expensive... Oh, Be Online and Shadowkeep are so expensive at $35. Bitch, you're willing to pay $30 for a Master Chief skin? Come on!
People pay $15, $12 a month on whatever it is that they're chucking your way, and it's like you want to pay $70 for an entire year of content in Destiny? No, thank you. Yeah,
thank you.
No, it's all an interest. Like I get both of them.
I get it too. I understand it. I'm just making a point here.
Yeah. It is frustrating.
Wow.
Well, but that's and the thing is like to play the game, you also don't have to buy anything to play the game. So, like, there's also that. Whereas a lot of these games, you're having to buy it, plus you're having to buy expansions to play it.
But what kind of kid is looking at this game and he's going, Mom, all my friends get to play as the Mandalorian or have the Baby Yoda pet, or they get to play as Kratos and Batman and Captain America. And you don't let me buy any skins. Like,
but once I get the skin, I have it, right? Like, it's not like once the season ends, I'm like, oh, it's gone too.
And again, Mandalorian, you get he's unlocked the second you buy the battle pass. You spend $8. You have 100 V-Bucks left after you buy it, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And you unlock him instantly. Oh. And then like from there you unlock a bunch of other characters throughout it. Man. And then there's other like you can upgrade his armor like he does in the show. Like you unlock stuff and then you can get the better metal parts on his, like his shoulder pads and things like
metal
that.
Parts? You mean Beskar?
Better, yeah. So
By the way,
like that's
You
the stuff that you're
uncultured
working with.
swine!
this season of The
obviously
Mandalorian is
you
very good,
unlock-
by the way.
Excellent.
And then obviously, as your backpack, you unlock the little baby Yoda and the floating thing that follows behind you while you're running around at all times. So,
Mandalorian.
Sorry, everyone. I
Dude,
went down.
This
down dark
this
path.
is the most exciting thing on this show that just happened. We're talking about Fortnite, I guess. We're now appealing to the younger audience, everybody.
Hey kids, come on and get your Fortnite V-Bucks. Follow on. Don't bother following on Twitter. We're not going to give away V-Bucks.
Mandalorian, though, man, what a show!
Fucking great show. Great show.
We're gonna have that Mandalorian spoiler cast after this season's over. It's gonna be a good one.
Every game.
All right, so we're gonna get into some of this. Well, we have one question here. One question from David Michelson. If you want to write in a question, you can email us at arsenalxpodcast@gmail.com or tweet at us at arsenalxpodcast. We'd really like your questions. David Michelson writes in and he says, now that Oscar Isaac has been cast in a Metal Gear movie, The Witcher and The Last of Us have TV shows, and Uncharted is getting a movie, what franchises, I think he means what Xbox franchises, do you think would fit in this medium, and would they be on the big or small screen? Well, Halo's getting a Showtime show, apparently, supposedly.
Well, it was a movie, then a show, and then the really bad show that did come out. I mean, do we, other than The Witcher, which I would argue that it doesn't really count necessarily because it wasn't really based on the game.
Yeah, wasn't it based on the books? Isn't it based on the
It's much more based on the books, yes.
I would say that, and this is someone that loves film. That's my jam for the most part. Games don't translate into a movie. The game is the superior medium from almost every perspective. Like, you get to embody that person or that character and make decisions, and then picking a very linear path and choosing either to you got two options. You either show a story that already exists that you've already played, or you create something else that doesn't exist, in which case you run the chance of forming a new narrative that people aren't interested in, or you choose like a side topic.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to see where a video game to movie or show works. I hope Halo doesn't suck, but it's already sucked once. So I don't have high hopes.
Castlevania.
I haven't watched Castlevania. It's a cartoon though.
Yes, so it's done. It's very anime and very anime-esque, and it adapts. Right now, it's adapting mainly the NES and Super Nintendo titles, which I think is a great approach. If you're going to approach something, make it to where it's not one of these like epic 20, 30-hour single-player games we already have, like Uncharted or like The Last of Us. I think is the one that I think is going to break the mold for live action.
It's very likely
because it's already been announced to be a 10-episode series. Neil Druckmann is writing it with Craig Mazin from Chernobyl. They're writing and executive producing it. It's on HBO. Like, I have a lot of faith that that's probably going to be the one to break the mold for us, because Monster Hunter ain't it, guys. The Witcher is based more on the novels. I get that most of us, not all of us, associate The Witcher with the games, but it is actually a very good book series. You should go read those if you haven't. The first season is based almost entirely on the original collection of short stories. So when I keep seeing news about something like Halo, I do not think Halo will succeed in this.
I don't think it's going to be good.
I think Halo has too big of a universe now at this point. Now, there are two Xbox properties I do think would work excellent as shows.
Forza.
And those are... God, I hate you. Get out of here. Get out of here. Gears of War and Fable. And now, bear with me here. I think you could easily easily tell the story of the Gears games over a couple of 8-episode seasons. Each game takes up a season. You can do some side stories in between. You can expand upon the narrative in the games. Those are 8 to 10 hours at the most campaigns. I think that would be a great one to adapt. Dave Bautista's begging to play Marcus, so let the man do it. As for Fable, I think Fable's the more intriguing one because you don't have to follow the games. You can very loosely associate them by putting people like Teresa and Jack of Blades in there. You don't have to actually follow those games, and I think that's the more exciting universe to play in. You can have a high fantasy series set with that. But I mean, beyond the upcoming Last of Us, we hope that's going to be good. Castlevania is good, and Advent Children back in the day is phenomenal. That is a perfect example of how you can take a video game property and move forward in this medium.
I don't know. I think Spirits Within was better.
Fable.
God, get out!
With Fable though, do you make it a BBC movie or a BBC show?
No, you give it to somebody with a huge budget.
Like, would you do it like Amazon's doing Lord of the Rings or HBO did Game of Thrones?
Yeah. I think you can definitely go with a smaller budget than one of those, but you would have to give it a budget. Like, it can't be something on the level of Doctor Who. It has to have an actual budget behind it.
Well, and Netflix does a lot of foreign TV shows and stuff as well. So like even someone like them could possibly like get a good budget and have it a British cast.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure they would because Playground and the former Lionhead devs are all based in the UK. Yeah. I'm sure they would have to.
British humor is really what made it what it was.
And I want to address it real fast. Ron in the chat says he would love to do something with Fallout now that it's a Microsoft property. That actually is being made into a series already with Amazon Studios.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'll be completely frank with you. After seeing what they did with The Boys, The Man in the High Castle, and fingers crossed for that Lord of the Rings adaptation, I'm not hating this move, especially since Bethesda's going to be directly involved with it. I don't hate it. I don't like it, but I don't hate it.
Yeah, that's the thing is I feel like Amazon is a little underrated when it comes to shows. I think the problem is a lot of their shows, they are done well, but it's a matter of if it appeals to you or not. Like I do think they do amazing jobs on most of their shows, but they don't always appeal with everyone, or people just don't give them a shot because let's be honest, like Netflix and Disney Plus and all that stuff is much more in the back of people's minds than Amazon is when it comes to TV shows. But I mean, Amazon does have a lot of great shows that I've watched over the years.
The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is an excellent TV show.
Mrs. Maisel is great. Fleabag is great.
Yeah, they have a lot of great shows.
They have a lot. It's more of an adult audience, I feel. And with Amazon, you don't usually see a lot of big budget projects. And I think that's why a lot of us were really surprised that The Boys was as good as it was. They do a lot of great dramas and dramedies, but they didn't have a big effects one. That's why when they originally got the Lord of the Rings property, I was like, oh God, this is going to be so bad. I'm not looking forward to this. And now, as we get closer, I'm like, well, I kind of thought the same thing about HBO back in the day, Thrones, in terms of its technicality by the end, surpassed anything I thought possible on television. So it's definitely possible to do it. It's all in who you bring on as your creative team and how closely are you going to work with the people who wrote it. Like the writer of the Boys miniseries is involved with the television series. George R.R. Martin wrote episodes of Thrones for television. Still haven't gotten the 6th book because he was helping out so much. There are ways to do this. The original Witcher writer is helping out, advising Cavill and them on the production team for The Witcher. Like we just said, Druckmann is doing The Last of Us. I think when you try to adapt a video game, and this is why I'm hopeful for Metal Gear Solid, Hideo Kojima personally picked Jordan Roberts Vaught, Bot Roberts, excuse me, to do this movie a couple of years ago. I don't know what he saw in Kong Island that made him go, "This is my guy," but he said, "This is my guy." And if somebody like Kojima, who we've seen has a very cinematic flair to how he does games and cutscenes, I have a lot of faith in this. Like, I think that that's how you're going to truly move this medium forward. Not a crappy Ubisoft adaptation like Assassin's Creed, where it's going to be this original story, but we're going to tie it into the game's timeline and everything else. Like, no, you should have just adapted the Ezio arc. That's what. But
think about Metal Gear Solid. All right. And there's a lot. I agree. There's a lot of very cinematic stuff in there. Mm-hmm. But let's get anyone, and I will say anyone, to edit that down to an hour and a half or 2 hours worth of watchable content.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying I only have faith in that because Kojima is so involved himself. I don't think that it's a good idea. I truly think if you're going to adapt a game into a watchable property, it needs to be taken to television and given an 8 to 12 series order. And that's how you do it, because
otherwise you get the Doom.
Yeah, that's
Doom
8
movie.
to 12. I mean, that's also, you didn't have the creators involved in that. Like John Carmack had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
You want, if you can do 8 to 12 hours, I think you can do a lot of these single player experiences. Maybe not these huge RPGs like Fallout or Skyrim or something, but you could adapt some of these games like Gears, Uncharted.
I'm going to disagree. I think that when you have better world building, the likelihood of you creating a series to succeed is higher in a video game. So I don't think Uncharted is great because the game is already so cinematic and already tells this larger story. And again, like just cramming that into a movie or adapting it based on the stuff that you fell in love with is not there. Skyrim would be, I don't want to say easy, but easier because it's so open-ended. You just put someone in the world of Skyrim and then you can have them interact and give snippets of like nods to things. If you do the Mandalorian approach to any video game, it'll be better. Meaning that you take a character that doesn't exist in that IP already, you put them in the world, you let them experience the world and give nods to all these things that the players have done or seen throughout the history without having to go too much into detail, so that you also don't lose any additional viewers that may have not played the game or that part of the game.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think, think about like a Halo without Master Chief in it. I think that part of the people would be disappointed that Master Chief isn't in it. However, it would be so much easier to tell a tale of another Spartan that you're not aware of, but then you can still have the things from that universe in there. It talks about Master Chief, but not directly in it. I understand why the need to put someone in that is there, but I don't think that's the right choice. I think it is the world. Fallout is a great example of one that would do well because the world is so strong. You can do anything in it, and it's going to feel like Fallout.
Right.
But that's
with Fallout, you can easily take it to a different region. Like, for example, throwing this out there, like we've never explored Texas, for example. You can go like the ruins of Austin or San Antonio or something. You could do and completely just like very loosely connected. I mean, the games are loosely connected as it is.
Correct.
Like you could do something like that, and I definitely agree with you there. I think that is a good approach. I think it's got to be that, and I think it's got to be approach. I don't think 2 hours is enough to establish something based on an existing property, and I think that's like part of the magic of why we like Rogue One so much with Star Wars is it was a brand new cast of characters that were tethered to the original trilogy, but you pretty much knew their fate going into this. It still managed to tell a unique story. It told about something that was almost a throwaway line in the original movies, but is so core to the original film itself. And I think if you do something like that, like if I go to watch a Last of Us series, though, here's the catch-22 of that. I go to watch a Last of Us series. I don't want to watch a story about another survivor in that universe. I want to watch Joel and Ellie's and now Abby's saga play out. I don't want to watch other characters. I don't care about other people in that universe, frankly. Like Uncharted, I want to watch Drake's story. Halo, on the other hand, Gears, those are fleshed out universes already in other mediums. I would love to see other squad members. Give me a show about Clayton Carmine. Come on, give me a show about Clayton and Lizzie. I'll watch that.
I think everyone would watch a show just about Buck.
Listen, if you can get Nathan Fillion to don that armor in real life, I will do unspeakable acts to watch that on television. Name your price.
No,
Name your price, Phil. Name your price.
Unspeakable X. All right.
Yep. You heard it here first.
Check
That's
the tape.
the name of the episode, Unspeakable Acts.
Oh man, I don't know. I guess I would just rather play my games. I don't need to watch them, honestly. But like something like Halo, I guess, like Josh said, I would like to see something happen in the universe besides Master Chief. As much as I like Master Chief, like I think doing something with the ODSTs would be way more interesting, or like another Spartan team, or something.
Let me see what Blue Team was doing between the events of First Strike and Halo 5.
Yeah.
You know, come on.
Weren't they just fighting Red Team and Blood Gulch?
Were they just fighting Red Team and Blood Gulch?
Like, I'd love something like that, but I definitely agree with Corey, though. At the end of the day, I'd rather play these stories.
Yep.
And I think the reason why I say that is video games, like, when we talk about art, are still such a they're such a baby art form. And we haven't quite hit that moment where an adaptation has made us go, wow, this can actually work. Uncharted ain't going to be it, folks. Okay? Like we said, like if anything happens, it'll be The Last of Us. And I want something to succeed, even if I'm not interested in it, because I want to see this move forward. Like we adapt so many novels into award-winning films. We've adapted albums into award-winning Broadway musicals and subsequently then into feature films. Like I would love to see something like that happen for video games, but if it takes us 10, 15, 20 years to get there, we're still so relatively new in this art form's life that's still an accomplishment. The fact that we're even still trying after The Spirits Within is an accomplishment.
Oh, come on. I watched Blood Rain.
Like, dude, the fact that UA Bowl did not completely ruin this for us for all time is an accomplishment. We survived Peter Jackson leaving Halo. We survived Wada not working on Gears. We survived Gore Verbinski passing on BioShock, ultimately. Like, we'll get through it. We almost had to endure that bastardization of Sonic before they, thank God, fixed his character model. But
Sonic is watchable.
Sonic is a step
I
in the
like
right
watching.
direction. It's not great. Okay, there's a reason why I bought it for $6. It's not great,
The last
but it is watchable.
15, 20 seconds of that with Jim Carrey is worth watching the whole movie.
It made me smile. Like getting that post-credit scene, just I had the biggest grin on my face. But
yeah,
it's like you have to have these things that even if they just take a step or two forward, they may not run the whole 100-meter dash for you. Like Sonic is literally going to hand the baton to something that will finish that race, though, eventually.
Yeah.
Like we started all the way back here with Advent Children, and we're like, oh my God, this is great compared to the game. This looks amazing. And now look at where we are. Like now we're actually starting to adapt stories, and we're taking those steps forward, like learning what works and what doesn't. Don't let UA Bowl near them. Probably not a great idea to let Paul Anderson near them anymore. We got 7 horrible Resident Evils to show for it. Like, I don't know.
I loved Parasite. Even it's corny Japanese horror, like kind of stuff that it did. Did you guys ever see the Parasite Eve movie?
No, I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah. But again, that game is based on books, but the movie is based on books as well. But yeah, I liked it, but it is definitely cheesy and corny and all those kind of fun stuffs that come with Japanese horror movies and stuff like that. But the one thing I was gonna ask, what do you guys think of? What would you guys think of like what if they did like a Sunset Overdrive movie? Just have it like over the top.
I feel like that would have
something similar to like Crank.
No, I feel like it would have some sort of weird filter on it, like Sin City or something to that.
Yeah,
effect.
it definitely would. I think have to be an animated movie.
I don't think it would have to be animated.
Listen,
I just feel like
that
it would
was
be
a
like
game that was tailor-made for me, so I would absolutely watch it. What I'd really like to see, like my last word on all this, a studio that I think whose games would be absolutely perfect to adapt is Remedy. And I know we had the horrible Max Payne one a couple years ago. We're going to ignore Max Payne. I'm talking you adapt the Alan Wake verse into film.
Mm-hmm.
So give me a 10-episode HBO series with Alan Wake.
I loved the show.
Give me like a
miniseries
Defenders style
of
Netflix.
Control.
Like a Netflix, like the way they did the Defenders, where like each show would have their own series, but then they come together and after like they figure out what all this is.
Yeah, I loved the Quantum Break TV show.
Stan Lake has to play everybody.
Oh man,
he has to play himself in Alan Wake.
Oh jeez. All right. Well, before we get out of here, has anybody been playing anything interesting besides Destiny, like most of us have? In college,
I've just been continuing Shadow of Tomb Raider, trying to finish that. Also, Austin did say that he wanted us to personally let Phil Spencer know that he needs to bring Viva Pinata back.
I mean, I think we all.
No excuse not to, Phil.
Viva Pinata, free-to-play game. Should be easy.
Yep.
I've been playing MCC, and that and Destiny, so nothing interesting.
Yeah, Josh,
Gears 5, baby. Gears 5.
How did you feel about Gears 5? Did you beat it, right? The twist. How did you feel about the twist at the end, where you had to make the choice? No spoilers.
I was very upset. I also did not realize that it would result in permadeath. So I was very upset. I assumed it would be like, oh, do this action, and then squad will be reunited. Well, that didn't happen. So I saved the wrong person, and I have to go back and replay that chapter now because I'm very upset with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the wrong one?
No spoilers. People are just now playing it with their Series X's and S's.
It was easy for me.
Yeah, I mean,
all I'm gonna say is I did not realize it would be a permanent death, so I tried to approach it from my tactical standpoint based on how the AI had helped me out in the campaign. Yeah. So I was very upset with my choice, though. Ultimately, I think this is an example of how Gears needs to move forward, though. I was telling our friend Ray that this is, to me, this and Gears 4 is how you properly take a series into the next generation, and you leave the baggage of the original, like, incredible trilogy behind. Like, you honor what that laid. Those characters still have a role to play in this story, but they're no longer the focus of it. Shifting the focus away from JD to Kate in this game is the best decision the Coalition could have possibly made.
Yeah.
Kate is an infinitely more likable protagonist. She's the only character I'm invested with in this universe outside of Marcus from 1 through 3, and I think even Marcus has gotten better in these games. I think, Kratos style, I actually care about him now, and that influences how I enjoy and interpret
tomatoes
in the game.
Yeah, you care about his tomatoes.
The open world nature of Acts 2 and 3 is something you don't see very often in a first-person shooter. And I mean, not that this is an FPS, this is a third-person shooter, but it's something you don't see in games like that, and it was so needed. But the desert blows.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
The lightning desert?
That is the worst part of the game. Yes, it is the worst part of the game. And yet somehow the boss fights in this game, the matriarch and I'm just going to call, I don't know what it's called, I'm going to call it the Kraken, against those two things are just incredible set pieces, incredible moments. You know, when you're in the lab and you're hunting / being stalked by the matriarch is so great.
Yeah.
The side mission nature, I would love to see them expand upon this even more in Gear 6, and I will, because if they take anything away from this game, I think that's That was awesome. The jack system is great. I found myself scourging for all of the parts. I wanted to upgrade them all the way. I'm going to go play New Game Plus just so I can carry over all my upgrades and go hunt for the rest of the components.
Mm-hmm.
I made my own version of the cover of that game, and I made Jack be the main big character on the front of the page and everyone else smaller, because in my opinion he's the real hero in that
he's the
game.
Most important asset in that game.
Yeah, if they didn't have him, there's literally wouldn't have made it even like 15 minutes into the game.
I'm just like,
it's great. It was a great way to change up the gameplay loop.
Yeah. It's definitely one of my favorite games of last year.
I feel like it's I mean, I wrote this in my review when I wrote it, but I was like, this is the first step in approaching Sony's, prolific profile of story-driven games. It's a long way off, but it definitely this felt like a game that aimed their guns at that, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Gears 5 a lot. So, but as for me, I've been playing a lot of Destiny, and I've been I'm about 3 hours into Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I wasn't sure how I was liking it at first, and then like I got to a point where it started clicking for me, and now I kind of don't want to put it down.
Yeah, I heard it takes like about 3 hours until it really starts.
Well, it's not just
opening up quite a bit.
It's not just that. It was the part where like I was still playing Odyssey when the Series X came out, and it still feels different. The map feels different. The upgrade paths, everything it's a different style of open world game, honestly. And it took my brain a lot of time to make that transition, because Odyssey is so good, but it's also so big, and there's also 9,000 question marks all over the map. And if I don't know, Valhalla feels like the things I liked about Origins and the things I liked about Odyssey and the stuff I liked about Black Flag, and they kind of just put them all into one game and took out the crappy parts, I would say.
See, point. For me, like Odyssey, what really set Odyssey apart from all the other games, because like I've played a bunch of them and just never really got pulled in. But there were parts of it I liked, but like Odyssey for me, like the fighting mechanics and all that kind of stuff were much more interesting, and I don't know. I just enjoyed the way you play that game over a lot of the other ones, because I liked that you didn't really have to do the whole stealth thing unless you absolutely want to. I don't know. I think it's just the fighting styles though too. Like, each time period's going to have their kind of style of fighting, and I think that the Odyssey, the more vicious, like almost Dark Souls kind of like fighting versus the some of the other ones is just appeals to me a little bit more. And the same with the Vikings. It's kind of the same kind of style of fighting, where it's just ruthless and not quite as stealthy, I guess.
Yeah. Also, in Valhalla, I like wielding the two-handed, like the two-hand axes. Like I just start nice. Like they want you to use like a giant axe and a shield, and I'm like, no, I'm using these two tiny axes and just like, I don't know, cutting people up with them. So, but that's it. Anybody want to hit on anything else before we get out of here? I'm just really excited to see what this Gears DLC is going to be. The Hive Buster stuff? DLC. Yeah, because I mean, they said early December we'd know more. My friends, it is early December. I expect that this week. I mean, maybe that's their Game Awards announcement. Like, oh, it's available now. Maybe. Again, this is so stupid. Why are you trying to put things out when Cyberpunk is coming out? Yeah, well, I mean, like, I think DLC for a game that's been out is better than putting out Gear 6 the same week as Cyberpunk. Let's be honest. It is, but still, like,
your first real campaign DLC. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have about that. As someone who just finished Gears 5, I'd really like for them to like stealth drop this DLC like Monday night so I could just blow through it real quick and then I get to lead it off the Xbox.
Well, what if tomorrow they are doing like, because you said they said they were going to have more news about Halo tomorrow as well.
No, that's my personal speculation. They said we would get news about Halo before Christmas.
Oh, okay. I
before
thought
Christmas.
you said that like when they. Okay.
The little video that was airing, suppose the tagline says all will be revealed tomorrow or something along those lines.
Well, let's say it does, and they have like a mini like a show where they just talk about like a few things, and they say like that it's available today. Like, I mean, like that could be like the end of the show. They say, you know, that the Gears 5 stuff is available today. Like, I could see something like that happening, but you know, get it out sooner than later. People can finish it here before Cyberpunk comes out.
Well, we'll see. We will see. But I think this is going to wrap the show, guys. This has been Arsenal X. Remember to like, subscribe, share, rate, and review wherever you consume this show. You can find us on bossrushgames.com. If you can't join us live, remember you can find the show on Tuesday mornings on your podcast service of choice. If you are listening on podcast services and you want to join us live, Sunday nights, right here on Boss Rush Games Live. Josh, where can we find you?
As always, on Tower Casuals every Thursday night and uploaded on Fridays. And on Twitter and Twitch at Josh_Finn with 2 N's. This week, we're playing Call of the Sea, Destiny 2 in 4K 60 frames. And after that, it's all Cyberpunk all the time, baby.
That's a sweet little dish.
Joe, where can
my friend, this is a full 5-course meal, okay?
Yeah.
Joe, where can we find you?
Well, it's easy to check the show notes. It's Colonel Panic K3RNL Panic. On Twitter is probably the best way. I am going to start streaming again starting this week. Me and a buddy are going to play through the Halo campaign, I think starting with Combat Evolved.
Ooh.
And then I'll get sidetracked with Cyberpunk until, I don't know, however long that takes. Probably a while. Then Halo will come out.
That's fair. That's fair. Jesse, where can we find you?
You can find me almost everywhere as Phantom NXS.
And you can find me at I am CorianHD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on CorianHD on Twitch. You can find me here on a plethora of things, including next week's Boss Rush podcast and Power Casuals with Josh Finney, and anything else I decide to do during the week when I'm, not busy. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, we love you.